Hey Taurus, what is going on? Happy birthday, everyone. I hope that your birthday month is going well thus far. I know we are in the beginning season of Taurus, but it is such a great time for you to shine that light, to feel honored and loved. And so I'm wishing you all the happiness and blessings. Welcome to the channel. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at the energy for you for the next couple weeks. So let's get into it. We are, at the time I'm recording this, I should say, we're just finishing off Mercury retrograde. As you guys know, we just moved into Taurus season and just had a full moon in Scorpio. So there is a lot going on astrologically. In the beginning of May, Pluto will retrograde, and it will retrograde actually back into Capricorn once again. So we're feeling this kind of push and pull energy where if we are really trying to do the work, do the healing, do the evolution, that type of thing, meaning aligning more with things that serve us, that honor us, that make us feel happy and fulfilled, there is going to be a little bit of struggle around that. There's a lot of reasons as to why, obviously, but that's why we start off with these energetic cleansings. I'm using a sage bundle, and basically we'll just set the energy, set the tone, clear any blocks, obstacles that we might be coming into. And then if you have a specific question for Spirit, it's a great time to ask. It's a great time to just ask for insight, ask for guidance, however that may come through. Remember, these are collective messages, so just use your discernment. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Let's get going, Taurus. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for our highest and best. Blocks, obstacles, fear, doubt, insecurity. Remove, release those from our being. Help me to be a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, so let's get into it, Taurus. So as I was saying in the beginning, there are some bumps in the road. And what I was hearing as I was preparing for your reading is see the good. I know that is like a little bit cheesy, a little stereotypical, but that's the thing, right? We can't control life. We can't control everything around us. What we can control is our perception of that. How much of it we want to pick up, especially on that emotional front. This primordial energy really describes the good, the bad, ugly, right? The things that come into our life that sometimes really just feel unfair, unjust, untrue. And we do have to come head on to that, right? We have to meet them head on is what I should say. And we have to make our choices, what kind of person we're going to be, how we're going to show up. Spirit is asking you to simplify. There has been a lot going on astrologically, so it might feel a little bit chaotic for you. I'm hearing coming from a cycle where there has been, it's forced you to make a lot of decisions in your life, things that I feel like haven't been incredibly comfortable. And now some of that stuff is coming to light. You're seeing the fruits of that. And there's this reevaluation phase taking place. And Spirit, sometimes we have to look at the harder stuff, and Spirit's saying, simplify your approach. Everything doesn't have to be so complex or complicated. Oh, there's that primordial card again for us. So double confirmation on, I'm hearing this as twofold, right? It's just recognizing that we are primordial beings, meaning we do have some really base ego functions, and that's for all of us. this message has been coming through of remembering that we all have credits, we all have deficits. And when we are on this life path, it's really about learning, growing, moving beyond the challenges, and hopefully healing some of those things. But primordial instincts are also a way to survive. They're a way to rise above. It gives us kind of that passion, that drive to remember how powerful we are, especially when we're put in those really difficult places. I'm hearing kind of like between the rocks. I don't think that's like a phrase, but I think, stuck between a rock and a hard place, that's the phrase. I don't know where I go sometimes. All right. So, really tapping into spirit. The more we ground into ourselves, the more we find peace, balance, serenity, the easier it is to hear spirit, to hear our internal voice, however that resonates for you. It can be a higher being, spirit, universe, God. It can also just be that internal voice within. But there is connection that's trying to be made. And I feel like you're getting a lot of signs, synchronicities around this, whether you're hearing the same message over and over and over again, you're seeing the same angel number, someone's name keeps popping up. It's like spirit's really trying to reach out from the ethers and say, hey, Taurus, listen up. The more grounded you can be, the easier it is going to be to hear these messages. To get your attention is what I'm hearing. It's remembering that life doesn't have to be all about brute force. As earth signs, it's the most gross element, right? It's the most solid and strong, and it has a lot of endurance around it, exactly like this primordial energy. But it often takes away from that divine feminine, that creative part of us that can really sense into the direction that we need to take in our life. Spirit's asking you to be a little bit more sensitive and aware of your surroundings, is what I'm hearing. Sometimes it's about not taking things at face value. Maybe doing some discovery, doing some research, not needing to be a part of the pack, right? With this individuation, sensing in and feeling whether something truly fits for you. Not just playing follow the leader, right? Not ascribing to that herd mentality. It's very easy, right? Like we find people that we love, that we respect, that we think are doing cool things, or, they're convincing us, right? And there's a lot of clarity around where I feel like you feel misguided. You feel like people have been using a certain type of agenda against you, and it doesn't really resonate anymore. Where maybe you didn't feel like you had the support that you needed, or you wanted a certain level of support. I feel like maybe someone was pretending like they were giving you that, or trying to present options of how this could all play out. But it wasn't thought through very well. And I'm hearing that like you instinctually knew this, but let it be what it was. And now you're in this space where, I'm hearing that value of like unintended consequences. You're coming into things, you're watching them manifest, and it's a little bit of a, oh shoot moment. This isn't really what I was planning or hoping for. And I feel like you're moving away from the group. You're moving away from the common mentality. You're feeling really emotional right now. You're all in your feels with this King of Cups energy. Reflecting a lot on the past. Having a hard time finding peace, is what I'm hearing. Spending a lot of time alone. This is not a fun energy energy to be in, Taurus, you know, especially around your birthday. Like, I hope you'll celebrate. I hope you'll have some fun for yourself. I'm also hearing, though, this is a good energy for you because it's basically saying that you're taking a beat. You're not continuing to push forward. You really need to kind of feel a little bit more grounded and settled in yourself and your emotions before moving forward, before making that decision forward. Someone around you has been pretty selfish and selfishly focused, wanting all the, like a very egoic energy. This is someone who really wants praise, approval, and they don't really care what it takes to get that. I'm hearing for some of you it was a lot of manipulation, right? Manipulating you to believe a certain thing that wasn't in fact true. But also someone who knew that they had this power and control over you. You might not even be able to look at this person anymore, look at them in the face, because it feels pretty devastating. We have Queen of Swords energy popping up, so you could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This also could involve multiple people. There's multiple people on the board, yeah. And there's a lot of, you know, conflict. Maybe it's not fighting, but this is definitely difference of opinion. This is definitely having a hard time finding that way forward. The sky looks bleak, you know, the horizon. Red sky at night, sailor's delight is what I'm hearing with this. Red sky in the morning, sailor's warning. And so something that was thought to go one way, that was thought to be a little bit more successful, actually took a wrong turn. But I'm hearing, Taurus, you had a feeling around this. Yeah, perhaps you went with the crowd. Perhaps you went with common opinion instead of speaking your own. And it does feel like actually pretty disappointing, pretty overwhelming. There wasn't enough opportunity that was brought into this, like enough options. It was kind of just like one way or the highway is what I'm seeing. And there was a refusal to like I said, assess maybe different ways, different approaches that this could have been handled. Or refusing to hear those. Someone felt like they needed to self-protect. They had to protect their money, their environment, their mind, and didn't really want to hear it. There is some stubborn energy with that Four of Pentacles. Protecting the resources is what I'm hearing. I feel like there was miscommunication, misunderstandings with this Two of Wands. Not seeing eye to eye, but not really taking the time to either. Taking the time to understand where each party was coming from. And it has, you know, I mean, I feel like someone was really on the defensive. They felt like they kind of had to fight this tooth and nail in order to get their way. And maybe you were trying different approaches, but it was something that really made this situation messy, for lack of a better word. Again, these very kind of like operating out of these very base instincts. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. You'll know what resonates for you. Obviously, don't pick up something that is not yours. And a decision is going to be need to be made pretty soon. We have 2 2s on the board. I feel like you were trying to get things to go in a different way. And again, it didn't happen. Someone didn't want to give in. Someone was just like, I'm going to keep fighting and let the cards land where they may. And instead of addressing it, you just kept pushing forward. Well, if they don't want to, then I'm going to create this whole new thing. And done so in a way that You know, I'm sensing some resentment is what I'm hearing. Someone does feel very like beaten and beaten down in this process. Hopefully not bloodied. Hopefully that's just more metaphorically. But I even see it with like all three of these wands. You know, there was like this inability to find balance. So it made it way messier than what it needed to be. And Spirit's saying you're going to need to make a choice about what you truly feel authentically and how you're going to move forward. Knight of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So it's almost like a digression. Going from the King to the Knight. Or you could be dealing with family, someone that feels like family close to home. There's intention to make a decision, but there's also a lot of delay. There's nervousness. Someone doesn't really want to commit one way or another. But just keep in mind that when we do not choose anything, that in and of itself is choosing something, right? It's that reminder that you're still making a decision. Yeah, but there's a lot of waiting energy. You're still waiting for more information to unfold. And again, that's why I feel like you can't really look at the person, look at the situation. Commitment promises have been broken. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. And you really are taking this on in a very emotional way. And you're dealing with someone who's like not emotional about this at all. Queen of Swords is, even if it hurts her, she's cutting it off. You know, if she knows it's not serving herself, if she knows it's not serving her purpose. And this is someone who has a lot of tenacity around creating their own success, their own victory. Meanwhile, whatever commitment was in place, whatever dynamic you had set up, it's not really being honored anymore. Because both people, all parties involved are having a hard time doing so. Yeah, there's just a lot of emotion. There's a lot of wishy-washy energy. Yeah, good intentions. Yeah, maybe I'll address this. Yeah, when the time is right, But everything keeps getting pushed into the future. And whatever this Hierophant, this commitment was to begin with, the lines are getting really fuzzy, really blurry, you know? And it's almost like forgetting why in the first place. Forgetting what those commitments were in the first place. The longer that time goes by, it feels worse and worse and worse. Sorry, Taurus, this is really bleak. I apologize. I'm just getting into okay, so karmic relationships. So, and you know, unfortunately, these are popping up a lot, especially with that Pluto moving into Aquarius, because we're really starting to ground into a new cycle of life where we have more opportunities to live in a heart-honoring way. So those areas of karma, i.e. learning lessons, the people and situations that come into our life to act as a mirror, to show us what we need to see about ourselves, are really rampant. And they have been, you know, for a minute now. It's not even just like, oh, the last week. It's been like a hot minute. There's just been a lot energetically. And because we are moving into a new cycle with Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20-something years, right? So we have this opportunity to feel fulfilled and happy and abundant, but we have to listen to guidance and direction, Taurus. We have to be willing to be like honest, vulnerable, aware of ourselves, our patterns, messages of warning. Yeah, there's like a lot coming to head. And sometimes it's just not the most palatable, but remember that it is a way to find balance. It is a way to find reciprocity. There's a lot of number sixes, actually 3 6s in these last oracles that I'm pulling. 666. So really kind of, yeah, learn from this experience. even if it is making you feel ashamed or embarrassed or whatever. You don't have to admit anything to anyone, but you do have to admit it to yourself, you know, and be honest with yourself and make the choice not to repeat whatever this is. Yes, there is tension, there is resistance, but there's also a way to open up to other opportunities, creative potential. Spirit doesn't want you to miss out just because of pride and ego. Aries got a very similar message. We got to be careful, like, who and what we believe right now. Especially, again, I'll say it a bajillion times, with that Pluto moving into Aquarius. Because we have to fight for what we actually want, not just placate people or, you know, function out of our ego. Even if it feels good for the minute, it's not going to feel good down the road. And I feel like that's kind of what you're going to be experiencing over these next couple weeks. No, this is just a few weeks, so hopefully it won't be too bad for too long, Taurus. I hope you can still enjoy your birthday and celebrate and have fun. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for your time and energy always. I really appreciate you. Know that I'm sending all the love, all the blessings your way. I hope you have I just hope that it not all works out. Sorry, I'm like fumbling my words. I should just end this. I hope that this gives you guidance, direction, and fluidity to navigate even the hardest of things. All right, lots of love. Thank you. I finally got it. Talk to you.